can cut parts on this and be assured that you can move the bed right the way from the head and then back again and still get to that same position, which is unheard of on a lot of machines. You'll do something called recutting the part.
But they've gone for this UAD head. It has 364 million different positions on it.
Like you have pounds.
Yes, I wish. We're literally standing inside the Correa Norma machine from DTS UK. Mollart Cox in Chesterfield have just invested in this machine, and my goodness me, we've got a lot to tell you.
We have. It's huge, isn't it, for a start? I mean,
yes.
Open access, a very big working envelope, can accommodate lots of longer parts and also quite wide parts thanks to an extended X and Y axis. So a big machine. Now
this isn't the first machine they've invested in from Correa. They have another machine, but it's very different because it's not a moving bed, is it?
Exactly. So the Axia is this machine's predecessor, or not the predecessor, they've still got it, but it's their first machine from Correa, which prompted then the purchase of this. But this machine, the bed moves.
Right,
left to
benefits
right.
of this.
The benefits to that is speed. So this machine is faster than the Axia. It's also probably a little bit more agile as a build, but some would then say that the Axia, with having a fixed bed and a moving column, might be better for heavier, bigger parts. And of course, it's a much bigger machine than this.
We are going to go quite technical in this video, but there will be one common theme, and it's how much technology this has that absorbs all of the problems from the operators, so they don't even need to think about it. It's
advancements in machine tool technologies, comparing what they had with the Axia, which is quite a few years old, to this modern machine. You're right. I mean, things like the ability for this to perform accurately day in, day out.
10 microns.
Regardless of whether it's freezing cold like it is today, yes, or a hot sunny day, thanks to the thermal compensation is one thing.
In every axis.
In every axis, and that's all obviously done through the software and the control. So the operator, your point being, is that the operator doesn't really have to worry too much about this machine maintaining tolerance over long periods of time.
Makes their life so much easier. Let's talk about the UAD head. There are options, but they've gone for this UAD head. It has 364 million different positions on it.
Like you have pounds.
Yes, I wish.
Over 300 million positions, and that's done thanks to the Hearth coupling design. It's patented technology to Correa. One of the things that their biggest message about their machines is the ability to perform machining to tight tolerances, and repeating to those positions is what this head can do. So when you've got the two Hearth couplings moving together, wherever the head ends up in its position, you can be guaranteed it's to the nth degree.
Well, he's actually said it's 10 microns, but we've heard from these guys that it's gone even better than that.
I mean, you can cut parts on this and be assured that you can move the bed right the way from the head and then back again and still get to that same position, which is unheard of on a lot of machines. You'll do something called recutting the part, which you won't do with this normal machine.
Okay, you've got L-shaped ram and droop correction within the head.
Which is really important, and it's often overlooked in machines because you've got to imagine this ram is extending. Okay,
yes,
so this table will move left to right in the x-axis, but your y-axis here, or your z-axis I should say, is coming out on the ram. Now you imagine you need as much support around that for when you're at the furthest point, which would be the end of the table. And it does that by having this L-shaped design. You've got 3 guideways on here supporting the ram as it comes out. Previously they had 2. So by adding another linear rail or a guideway is a third more capability to secure the ram as it's extending. And again, that with the positional accuracy of the head, those two together give you the best in accuracy on a machine. They really do.
This company, you can have a choice, of course. You've got lots of options here, but let's talk about that power. So 4,000, 6,000 or 10,000, and they went for 4 because they wanted more torque.
They wanted torque, and if you look at this particular part here, this is a perfect example of the type of work they're doing. This is a really hard bit of steel, a really tough material to cut. So by opting for a more powerful spindle means they can obviously remove metal more successfully at those lower speeds. So a high torque BT50 spindle you have on this machine, and most of the work they're putting through here is really hard. They're working on subsea components, right to the bottom of the ocean. You're talking about materials here, material grades that are really, really hard.
we're not talking about lights out running with a machine like this. So you've got a choice. You can have, I think, 40, 60 or 80 tools. They went for 40. They've got the other machine. They've got 80. They don't use half of those positions. So, 40 tools works.
40 tools, and what you'll notice with these machines, when they tool change, they're not really, really fast. These machines are about production and about productivity, reliable manufacturing. Yeah, you're not probably chasing seconds and seconds with things like this, but you do need a solid, reliable solution. So 40 tools is more than ample for a machine of this nature.
He learnt a lesson as well and went for the double swarf conveyor because, well, he learnt a lesson, shall we say.
Yeah, why would you not? This machine, the great thing about these tables as well is I used to work on machines where you had one swarf conveyor. Now, invariably, what's going to happen then is if you don't have one at the back, the swarf's going to go at the back. You're still going to lose time by going in there to clear the swarf out. Here, having them both sides means, of course, you've got the extraction and the evacuation down to a fine art.
Right, I'm going to present from the floor here, or direct from the floor, because Chris, as you can see, you've got the control panel here. However, what we can do, I'm not going to do it now, but this control panel can go all the way from this door and back through this door, so we can swing across the table, so you can control or everything, but from a different angle.
And I see a real advantage to that. Having worked on machines, knowing that when your pendant is in one position, you'll be trying to get to the back of a part. You might be trying to use a DTI clock or something to position your component. And if you can't see it from the control, I used to have one of these sort of mirror things that you used to stick over the back, so I could see the clock and its position. Whereas if I'd have had that through there, I would have been able to do it without that. So
access as well. They are over the moon with the access. The doors open all the way to the ends. So of course, when you're using the crane, easy access. They are over the moon with this machine.
They are, and a huge fourth axis unit. We can't forget this.
I'm not moving it now.
And they've actually gone through a much bigger bore on here as well, so they can bury some of their shafts right the way through this fourth axis unit. And of course, by having this fourth axis unit means they can index the part and be able to get to different positions in order to create flats like this on components like this, and of course supported by a tailstock. But overall, with the linear scales, with the high power option, the accuracy of the head, the openness of the machine, some of the options that they've got with it when it comes to, you can have things like high pressure coolant, obviously the swarf evacuation like we know. Plenty going on here.
They've invested in this machines from DTS UK. The installation was seamless, Heidenhain control. Again, everything they just say it's so easy.
We have an invitation to go to Burgos in May.
I'll be there.
Which is where these machines are manufactured, and they do currently have some of these machines available from stock as well as the Axia. So if you are interested in a larger machine, as we move north, you tend to find that industrial parts become heavier and bigger, and of course these machines are perfect for that. But if you are after a machine quickly, then DTS can satisfy that need from Courier as well.
And just to echo that, the managing director said this machine has transformed their business for their milling capabilities. They're very happy.
Can't say fairer than that.